Hi friends, MD Vegan. I have my gentle juice fasting day today. Do that once a week. I only drink beverages usually that are like water, beginning with water in the morning. I drink a lot of water to flush the body, the system. And then at some point I drink then a beautiful juice, a fresh juice. I make a juice myself. And so on. And these juices are amazing because they have a wonderful flavor. They taste are full of nutrients, and I can enjoy the ingredients of these juices and always find new combinations. On a fasting day, it's a day of cleansing. Yeah. It's a rebooting the system. Yeah. It's like a big rest to the main. To one of the main parts of the body, that's digestion, rests. I don't eat. Yeah. Digestion has a pause. And also the metabolism, how I produce energy, how I generate energy, how the body generates energy is also turned around. If you have too little calories, if you eat less calories, that is fasting over a certain time. The body begins to generate energy in a different way. That's a little bit of a complicated thing with the ketones, and so usually the cells, they burn sugar usually, but they can also burn ketones. That's a different story. It's not like sugar. It's simple. It's easier. Yeah, it's like a cleansing process. But I don't talk about that a lot. That is not so important because the details. It's a different way of producing energy, and it's not. When fasting kicks in, this begins also. And that's a good thing because then the body cleanses from toxins. Like at night when we sleep, the brain begins to release the toxins. It orders the body to release toxins from everywhere. In the daytime, when we are up and eat and work and play, these toxins build. At night when we sleep, it's important we cool it, we calm down, we rest. The toxins are released. The brain does that. It says no, out of the toxins. Now is pause. Yeah, it's important that we need to do that every day. And a fasting is like a longer period of that. Yeah, I do it one day a week in the average, and there are special days when the moon has a certain place. Full moon, new moon, and so then the yogis say the cleansing effect of the water is even better. So you can also have these special days, the moon days, the moon fasting we call that, Tri-yoga moon fasting. But that is not so important. More important is regularly one day. That's my method. It's what we do here in Tri-yoga, our yoga school. Yeah, and I find it's more efficient than any other way of fasting. I tried many other ways of fasting, but this is my choice. I find that's best because I can keep going over years and decades. I do it all the time, and I don't have to push myself. It's not very tough. I don't have to do it several days in a row. When I have a little headache or a pressure, I just eat something. I make it slow a little bit down. The idea of gentleness, the gentle juice fasting. That is important because I don't make it too hard. Yeah? I make it gentle, non-violent. That's part of a non-violent lifestyle. Ahimsa, the Indians say. Ahimsa comes from the Indian culture, ancient Indian culture. They have that. Gandhi also had an ahimsa. It was very important for him when he liberated India. This is non-violent movement against the British. He became very famously for liberating India from the occupier without violence, without using violence. Yeah. Then it became famous. And also in veganism, yeah, we can also coin veganism as an ahimsa lifestyle. So that is interesting. And in the fasting too, we use that fasting, that gentleness, that ahimsa, non-violent thing with because we do not want to push ourselves and do harm ourselves, not harming. And that's why we can, because the reason is because in order for the body and the mind to work best, it needs to feel great. The energy needs to flow freely. Yogis talk about energy and consciousness. That's the main yoga principle to explain how everything works. And the ancient Ayurveda medicine has that also. The energy has to flow freely, and if it is stopped, if there's an obstacle to the free energy flow, then the body stops healing. And in yogi terms, is when you feel happy, the energy flows freely and the body heals itself. So that's why the gentleness is important, because as long as you feel great and happy, so to say, the body is happy, the body heals itself. So I always want to stay in that certain mood, this sattvic mood. The mind is peaceful and happy, and so the body can work properly and the mind functions also properly. So that's the reason why I can go on forever, because I don't have not any stress. That's why this fasting is so good to me. So now, to come to my juice today, I said I make a juice all the time, a new recipe, because when I do this cleansing, it's like a turning inside, and I feel more intensely. I heighten my senses. I raise my sensual awareness. I can taste the ingredients better. I can feel what an apricot is. Today I make an apricot juice, a red beet juice with apricots. Here I have a red beet, and with an apricot together. I made such a juice before, and it was very delicious. And I had a third ingredient. That is always, I begin always with 3 ingredients to make it a little more interesting. Here, oranges. That's about the same amount, oranges and apricots, to balance each other. And the beet is what gives the base, the foundation of that. It's beet juice, because this is the strongest flavor in that juice here, in that recipe. I found that when I use beet flavors or beet juices, I can add, when I drink beet juice by itself, it tastes a little bit harsh. There can even be a scratching in the throat because of certain substances in the beet. But if you add a certain fruit, sweet and sour fruit, all of a sudden the beet flavor turns into very delicious flavors. And the beet is maybe the ingredient that can create the most exciting flavors. Flavors I never tasted before. It's really amazing. So I like the beet juice especially. And by the way, if you drink beet juices or eat beet also, you enhance your performance. If you do a workout, in 2 hours later after eating beet or drinking beet juice, the performance gets better. You have better endurance. Scientifically proven. So the beet juice is a really powerful juice on a fasting day. Sometimes you feel I feel a little bit weaker, a bit tired or so, and the beet juice is the perfect way to get energy. It's a lot of sugar in the beet. And with the sugar in the beet, I try to explain why these flavors are so amazing. In the beet, these sugars, I guess, that's an estimation, an assumption, the sugars are hidden by the earth flavors. The earth flavors are very strong. Carrot has a similar earth flavor. It's growing under the earth. Beet as well as carrots have a high sugar. That is science again. We know there are a lot of sugar in beets and carrots. But these sugars, they don't taste. If you eat a beet, you don't taste the sweetness at first. But if you put the fruit into it, sweet and sour fruit I found, then all of a sudden the flavors come out. And I guess these sugars, together with the beet, the earth flavors, they create these exciting flavors. That's my guess. And so I always try to add another fruit to the beet juice, and then I find out what kind of flavor that is. And the first time I did that with the apricots, I had these apricot beet juice together with the orange, and that was a nice flavor. I tried that. because I know orange and apricot are perfect together. That is I know that already from other recipes, and I also know that orange is perfect with beet. So why not try, when I want to have something with an apricot, why not try orange apricot beet juice? Because I also found that the orange, that's interesting, does not change the specific beet flavor that much. The orange is more the neutral element for the beet juices. If I make a lot of beet juices, I find out that different fruit do different things. And the orange seems to be the neutral one. It keeps the beet flavor, this earth flavor, keeps it as is, but it still is then a delicious juice. Without the orange, a beet juice tastes really harsh, a little bit harsh, very strong. But when you add orange, it still tastes like beet, but it is not harsh. It's nice, it tastes good. Orange beet juice is perfect juice, it's delicious. But it still tastes like beet. I'll give you an example. If you make you, for example, a beet juice with a mango, you don't taste the beet anymore. A completely new flavor comes. So mango is not at all neutral. It creates a completely new flavor. Orange leaves the beet flavor alone. It does not change it. That is a non-neutral element. So different fruit can have different effects in a recipe. And in these beet juices, the oranges are very neutral. That's interesting for me, for creating new flavors. So I want to explore now the apricot beet flavor. The orange is a good way to make the juice a little bit longer, and I can still taste the beet and the apricot, I guess. Let's see. But today I make something new. I have made already the beet orange apricot juice. I tried that before and it was nice. And today I add basil. I have a bunch of basil, some of my basil bush. I cut some of the basil stems and tips, and a little bit of ginger, 2 inches of ginger or 3 or so. Because I know that especially the basil is a perfect combination for orange. Yeah. Also, orange and basil is a classical combination. I have many juices or smoothies where orange, or dressings even, where orange and basil are combined, and that tastes wonderful. So I thought, if I want to further explore the apricot beet juice, I could try it with basil. That's what I do today. So I gave a long explanation today. And the ginger is to enhance these flavors. Ginger is very nice with orange also, and with beet. If you can make an orange beet ginger juice, it's wonderful. The ginger there gives a little bit more heat to everything. It makes it more fiery. It doesn't change the flavor so much. Yeah. Similar with the orange. Yeah. It doesn't change the beet flavor so much. It gives more fire. Yeah. So that's why I think it might, together with the basil, that is a very strong flavor. It's nice with the orange. Might also be nice with apricot and beet. And the ginger will enhance all that. Yeah. It will not so much change it, I guess. It gives it more heat, more intensity. So but I find out, I have to try it to find out if it really works, to understand how basil works with apricot and beet. And I try, maybe, I don't know yet, maybe I add a little bit of the orange peel to this juice, but that can be a risk because it can ruin the whole juice. There is in the citrus peels, orange peel, lemon peel, and so there is the most important nutrient from the whole fruit is in the yellow color, orange color of the fruit. But if you use too much, it ruins the flavor, it gets bitter and very unpleasant. So maybe I can enhance the flavor a little bit with it. Let's see. I come back in a moment and I'll show you what the juice looks like and what it tastes like. I will try to tell you. See you in a moment. That's my juice. I didn't taste it yet. I just put some here of these pieces in. There's these slices of the peel, the orange. Just 2, 3, 4, not too many. I want to be careful at first, and then I have tried already. When you take too much, the juice really is too strong. It doesn't taste anymore. Too intense. But really great nutrients in there. These citrus or orange peel. There's an oil that can evaporate. Yeah, as etheric oils they're called, and they're very intense in flavor. They are the strongest nutrients of the whole fruit, but they're also very powerful in the flavor. So try now. Might be nice, but so, and the rest of the juice here has a beautiful color. That's always the beet, always the same color. You basically have always this same kind of red tone. Yeah, change a little bit depending on what you put in, but the beet is very dominant. If you have a beet juice, it's always dark red usually. Yeah, you can change a little bit, but that tone is always characteristic for the beet. That's always a beet juice, I would say. You put beet in something, it's always a beet thing. So the color is more expected. That's nice. The texture is a little creamy. It's a little creamy juice, a thick juice. That's because of, I would say, the apricot. The apricots, they make these creamy juices. And I like that. They have a lot of fiber. They are soft. If you juice them, they get a creamy juice. Like peaches too make a creamy juice. I like it a lot. So that's why here the texture is creamy. But of course, more important is the flavor. Let's see what it tastes like. Just a moment. Oh yeah, wow. What's very characteristic for apricots is the sour flavor affinity. Fruit or other plants that we can eat, they oftentimes have a flavor affinity. That means, that's my word, I don't know how to describe it in a different word. You may eat an apricot by itself, and you find it sweet and tasty, like an apricot. Can't describe. Tastes like an apricot. Tastes delicious. Sweet would be the easiest way to describe it. But if you put something, if you add something to the apricot, yeah, that lemon, for example, then you will find that tastes very, very sour. Not just because the lemon is sour. Lemon is sour, we know. But together with the apricot, it tastes so sour you don't like it. It's too sour. That's because the apricot has a sour affinity, this flavor affinity. It tastes a little bit more sour than you would expect it. And that's very strong. The apricot by itself doesn't taste like that, but you only find out when they play together with other flavors. Then these affinities, they show. And this is here in this juice, very characteristic, is a bite in that juice. It comes from the apricot. It's a wonderful effect, something, crispy in that juice flavor. Very nice flavor, because this heavy earth flavor from the beet holds it all together. But then the apricot makes it really crispy. It's interesting. It's a wonderful flavor, and the orange peel intensifies that, as I thought, together with the ginger and the basil. Taste it one more time. It's a very complex flavor. There is the apricot with the sour affinity on top of the beet, the orange intensifying it, and then the ginger together with ginger. And then where is that basil flavor? Let's see again. Yeah, oh, I got it. The basil opens it up like an umbrella. An umbrella that really, basil is something that makes me wake up. There's a substance in the basil that is a mint herb from the mint family, the basil. Ancient Mediterranean herb. It's been cultivated for thousands of years. And it has a specific effect. It makes the brain wake up. And it's opening the flavor like it opens the senses. It wakes up, and that also does it to this flavor. It makes it a very large, spacey flavor. Very nice. I show you what it looks like. I mean, that's only words. You have to taste it by yourself. I would say it's a wonderful flavor. It's exciting, with a little here seasoning with the ginger and the orange peel. Basically, of course, it is a beet juice with the apricot and the basil. That is the most characteristic in that flavor, I would say. And the ginger, the orange here, that give it a little bit more space and largeness. Yeah, that's how I would describe it. Yeah, try for yourself if you like. I can recommend this juice. I will drink this juice very slow, sipping. Takes some time, like a whole meal on a regular day when I eat. I eat my juices, so to say, because there's a lot of energy in there, a lot of sugar, and it goes into the bloodstream without digestion directly. So I drink it fast, like I like it, I drink it a lot, and then I'm overwhelmed. That can be a little bit too much. I can feel dizzy or something. The body doesn't like it if you overwhelm it with a substance. Oftentimes, moderation is important, and that's what happens with digestion. If you have a whole food plant-based diet, yeah, the fiber in the food is that what we cannot digest, what keeps digestion going, and that moderates the intake of nutrients. How fast the sugar or the fat or whatever you eat goes into the blood, that is determined by the fiber. That's why we need to have a lot of fiber, because the digestion has to work. They cleanse everything, and they make it slower. They bring the nutrients slower. They moderate the intake of the nutrients. And during fasting day we have no fiber basically, so the nutrients go in fast. And I don't want to do that too fast, so I drink it slowly. So that's the advice about how fast I drink. And tomorrow I will eat again, and then regular day begins again until the next fasting day. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like my videos, subscribe. MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day, and find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter. And if you want to know more about Gentle Juice Fasting, there is a Facebook page where I post all my juice recipes once a week. There's a moon fasting calendar, and that Facebook page is called Tree Yoga Moon Fasting. As I mentioned before, Tree Yoga is the yoga style where I practice, and there we have learned this Tree Yoga Moon Fasting, Gentle Juice Fasting technique. Yeah, that's why it's called like that. Hope to see you soon.